Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to all my cloud scholars. I hope you all are enjoying this application gateway series. So we have set up half of our lab, to be completely honest with you. But we are now going into doing our application gateway. So in order to do application gateway, we will get an error message if we have the public IP address here. But what I'm going to do is let you see what kind of error that you will see when we go ahead and try to add these machines to it. So I'll leave the public IP address here. As you can see, we still have our URLs that we're able to get to for those images. Now, before we get to our application gateway, I do need to let you know something about the way their network needs to be set up. Okay, so in order for us to set up our application gateway, the subnet needs to be a dedicated subnet. So that means no other resources should be a part of that subnet. So the subnet used by the application gateway must not contain any other resources. Now, I already have a virtual network which I have already established, but I do want to show you. If I go to virtual networks and I go to subnets, I have an application gateway. As you can see, it has available IPs. If you know anything about Azure networking, there's 3 IPs that are reserved by Azure, by Microsoft. So right here, you can see that there is no security group or anything like that, but it is emptied and it has nothing there. And this is where our VMs are relying right now, which is in the default one. So we're going to point to this one. Now, if you need to create a subnet, you would come here and you click sub right here and you create. Or you could do something like a gateway subnet over here, and then you could do something over here as well for your subnet, right? So you could go over here and you could create a new subnet for yourself and you could call it whatever you want to call it. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go here and I'm going to go into application gateway. And I'm going to click on create application gateway. So resource group, let's keep it going. RG East US. Application gateway name, my scholars gateway. Is our name good? Our name is good. Region East US, and we're gonna go with a standard version 2. Over here we can say enable auto scaling, minimum instance count, we can say 1. And then here we can say 5. You can do whatever you want, but I would kind of keep it to that. Availability zone, right? So we can have 1, 2, or 3 availability zones. We could just do 1 availability zone, or we could leave it as none if we wanted to, you know. So actually we can. It's giving me an error message. And then down here, what we do is IP address, IPv4, add in HTTP2. So this protocol support is available to clients that connect to the application gateway. Listeners only. The communication to the backend server pool is over HTTP, right? So we'll leave it as enabled and configure virtual network. And right here, we can drop here, and then it says subnet. It already grabs our application gateway. If I were to try to go to another subnet must only have application gateway. Network security group East NG blocks incoming internet traffic, blah, yada, yada, yada. So basically what I mentioned earlier is that it needs to have that, or you're going to get a nasty error message. All right, the next thing we need to do is do our front end IP address. So we can have it be public, we could do it private, or we could do it both. If I go private, you know, application gateway with a tier of standard version 2 do not support only private IP addresses as the front end. So I'm going to get an error message. If I go both, you'll see it gives me public and a private IP. But right now, I'm just going to leave it to a public IP address. So if I click down here, I can't choose any of these because the IP address is already associated. So I need to click a new one. So I'm just going to say app gateway and I'll click OK. Right, so we have one here. So let me jump to a screen so I can show you exactly how the application gateway looks and then talk you through it as we set this up. All right, a screen in front of you shows you users, right? So we have users in in blue, and we have users in green. Now, based on the workload, that's the reason why the color looks like this, and I actually got this from the Microsoft website. So essentially what we're doing here is we have the application gateway over here. And what we're doing here is working on the front end IP configuration and front end port. So this is where we're at right now. We're setting this up. We haven't gone through any listeners or anything or any rules. And basically this whole section here is our web application firewall. And based on what we set up here, it depends on how traffic is going to go to our virtual machine, our virtual scale set, on premise, Azure App Services, and so on and so forth. So right here, we are in the front end IP configuration. So next I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the back end, right? So we need to add a back end pool. So our pool, we can call this our images pool. And I'll come here, I'll go to virtual machine. I will come down here and I will go to this one because this is for our images, and I'll click add. Then I will add another pool and I will call this our video pool. So I'll come here, I'll go to virtual machine, I'll come down here and I will click here for our images. So now we have two pools here. If I click on it, I can see what's associated with it. Oh, images, yep. And if I click over here, cancel, I can see what's a part of our video. So you can always go back to it if you need to make any modifications. That's essentially what I'm trying to show you. So now when we go to configurations, we see here our front end. We want to add another front end, we can, but this is what we already associated with. And in our back end, we see we have our back end. So next thing we need to do in this middle section is we need to create our rule. So add a routing rule. So I can say rule 1, and there is a priority that you have to have when it comes to rules. And this is our listener section, right? So this priority is our listener and our backend targets. Remember, we're still in this area right here where it has the listener. So this is exactly what it's referring to over here when it comes to listener based on the rules. Now, one thing I want to tell you is when it comes to priority, the priority value should be between 1 and 20,000, where 1 represents the highest priority and 20,000 represents the lowest. So I'm going to do something like 100. Right, which is fine. And I'll say listener name, image listener, and we'll do port 80. And then over here, down here, we have custom error pages. So you can do custom error pages. Instead of having a default one, you can have custom error pages when it comes to application gateways. So let's talk a little bit about why you would want to have custom errors. So application gateways allow you to create customized error pages instead of displaying default ones. You can use your branding and layout for errors related to different response codes. Some scenarios for use, well, maintenance or status page for 502 bad gateway response, unauthorized access page for 403 forbidden, or showing a company branded page with contact details in case of an issue. So when I first started learning about application gateways and I saw this, I thought this was really cool that you can now have something that's germane to your environment for any errors, and then also be able to provide your clients, users, or whomever some instructions about the issue and who to contact if you have an issue. So we're not going to mess with this area. I just wanted to point that out. So next thing we need to do is hit our backend targets. So over here, our backend targets, we need to point to our pool. So this image is supposed to be for our image listener. So let's say, let me change this now and type in rule images, right? Because that gives us a little bit better way to understand what's going on. And then over here, we're going to choose our image pool. And then over here, we need to say backend target. We need to come here and click add. And then this is where we do our backend settings, right? So setting name, we'll say backend images. And then over here, we'll leave it as 80. We can do cookie-based affinity. Now, I talked about this in one of the first videos for the introduction. The application gateway can use cookies to keep a user session on the same server. You can enable this feature if the client supports the use of cookies. And then we can do connection draining as well. But we'll leave this as the way it is there. And then right here, it says this feature allows you to override the path in URL so the request for a specific path can be routed to another path. For example, if you intend to route requests for Contoso images to default, then enter / in the text box and subsequently add this HTTP sentence to the rule associated with Contoso images. All right, now next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna click on add. All right, so what we're gonna do now is gonna come here and we need to add our path, right? So right here, I'm just gonna go image / asterisk, and we can just call it our images. And then down here, we have our backend images, right? And then over here, we are going to say for our backend target is going to be our images pool. And I'm going to click on add. And then I'm going to add another one. And this one is going to be for our video. So let me come over here and let me just do this video section really quickly. I'm going to click here. And I'm going to asterisk. I did forget the other one down there. Video target. Over here, I'm going to hit the down arrow, backend images, which is fine. All right, and then down here, I'm just going to say this is going to be for our video pool, and I'll click on add. And then that will be that, and I will click on add. And then that's how we will set that up. And I'll click on next. I'll click on next. And I'll click on create. So while that deployment is in progress, what I'm going to come over here and do is I'm going to go back to our virtual machines. Now we still have the public IP addresses there. I'm going to go ahead and remove those public IP addresses because we do not need those public IP addresses anymore. And I'm going to come here to network interface. I'm going to come over to settings, IP configurations. I'm going to go IP config. And I'm going to click out of here and I'm going to click save. And then I'm going to come over here to virtual machine images. And I'm going to go to network. And over here, I'm going to click over here. IP configurations. IP config. And I'm going to click out of here. And I'm going to click save as well. Come back over here. And we are going to wait for our application gateway to fully respond. Okay, so our application gateway is up and running. If I click on our application gateway, I can see we have it all there up and running right now. Nothing's really coming through. If I go to configuration, I can see it's standard version 2, web application firewall. We didn't go ahead and set that up for it, but we have our 2 backend pools. We have our backend settings, right? Cookie-based affinity. Remember, we took that off. We have front-end IP configurations as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this front-end IP address. And remember, what we did was we took away our public IP addresses. Let me refresh this. Oh, we didn't take it away. Okay, so what it looks like is the public IP addresses didn't go through correctly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going back through each of these virtual machines, starting with VMO video, and I am going to remove it again. I looked at the video. It looked like it went through, but it didn't. So I'm actually just going through it. So if you ran into the same problem as me, hopefully you didn't. Just run back to network settings. Then we're going to go to our network interface. From here, IP configurations, back over to our IP config and disassociate it. So you can see right here, that one was disassociated, and I hit refresh and only one of them was disassociated. So what I ended up doing was I went into the public IP address itself and disassociated it from there. Yeah, as you can see, Azure was being a little bit stubborn with me in this part of the video. So what I ended up doing, as I mentioned earlier, went to public IP address, even hit refresh a couple times. And then I saw that it was still associated, so I ended up going to the top area over there and I disassociated it. Okay, so our application gateway has been set up. So let's go into our application gateway. You can see it's up and running. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here. We disassociated with our public IP addresses. So if I click and I try to search for it again, it will not allow me to. And the same thing goes for this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the IP address for our application gateway. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say images, image.index.html. As you can see, it says this server is for images, right? Please like and subscribe. And if I come back here and I say video, this is the video server. Thank you for watching Cloud Scholars. So we are up and running and it is going ahead and doing it. So I do want to point out one thing is that in the video, I did go ahead and I disassociated the public IP addresses. And then I went back. I am editing this video as I'm making things, as I go through it, just so you guys don't have to wait for the time lapse of me resources being created. But the public IP addresses were still associated with it. So I do want to come back here and make sure that when you guys go into it, I must have been going through the video just talking sometimes, probably wasn't paying attention. But when you come here to network interfaces and you go to IP configurations and you click on IP configurations, just make sure that you hit save. I'm not sure if I hit save or I just hit cancel when I was going ahead doing that. Also, let's go back into our public IP addresses as well. You can disassociate it from here as well, but we don't need all these anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete these just to save on cost for the rest of this video series. So just make sure you are deleting these resources. I don't want you to incur any more cost than you need to. So we don't need the public IP addresses for the virtual machines anymore because obviously our traffic is supposed to be going through the application gateway. And as you can see, we have our traffic. We are able to hit both machines based on the URL rules that we set up. So if I take this out and put images, it will show the image server. So yeah, so we are going to have another video within the series, more on application gateways. So continue watching and I hope you are enjoying. Please leave any comments in the comment section. I would love to hear from the audience what you think about this video, or if you have any questions in terms of application gateway or something that I said that you thought probably could have explained a little bit better, or you didn't really fully digest it. Either way. So, once again, my name is Kieran Schross, and I want to thank you for watching this video. Here at Cloud Scholars, my goal is to get you from scholar to consultant, and of course, consultant to expert. Thank you, and see you next time.